Hey, it would probably help if I unmuted the mic when I started doing gameplay, wouldn't it? Alright, let's do that again. There's a woman in the mural, the dragon's master, perhaps? Why is a nasty mural like that in the secret room beneath the Great Archive? These letters have a funny shape. Maybe it's some ancient script? I'm intrigued. If we could only know what is written here. This wall painting is a bit scary, isn't it? A monster attacking a burning town? There's also a woman hurling fire. I suppose she must be a witch. That woman is the Great Witch. Miss Mystere? This certainly doesn't bode well. A painting of the Great Witch here. Do you know anything about the witch in... Oh, yeah, do you know anything about the witch in this painting? You don't know of the Great Witch? But how can that be possible for a man of your learning? Well, that's... Never mind. I'm sure you must have your reasons. I don't wish to pry. I appreciate that. Would you mind perhaps telling us a bit about this witch? The woman in this painting is the Great Witch Bizella. And this painting depicts the infamous legendary fire that she caused. The legendary fire? She is a witch in charge of all witches, whose very existence poses the greatest threat known to Labyrinthia. The Great Witch Bizella cannot be considered the same as other witches. She is the root of all Labyrinthia's woes. The Great Witch Bizella. What do you mean by the root of all Labyrinthia's woes? The reason for all of Labyrinthia's suffering at the hands of the witches lies in the very existence of the Great Witch Bizella. Would you mind elaborating? The Great Witch Bizella is the source of all the other witches. As long as she exists, there will be no end to other witches. While the Great Witch Bizella is with us, the townspeople will forever live in fear under the shadow of witches. So you mean that if there were no Great Witch, there would be peace? No Great Witch? That's easy enough to say. But while all the knights have been searching for Bizella, nobody has ever been able to find her. There are very few clues, and no one has ever seen her in person. Nevertheless, the Great Witch Bizella is undoubtedly present in Labyrinthia. How can you be so certain? Because her deep claw marks can still be seen throughout the town. Claw marks? You must all have seen them too, the traces of that fire when you entered the library. Ah yes, there was a part of building that had suffered noticeable damage. Bizella is a fearful witch, who has all other witches doing her bidding. Long ago, this town was reduced to ashes as a result of her fiery magic. Reduced to ashes? That must have been, let me see, 100 or so years ago. It was on the evening of the Fire Festival, held every year in honor of the Great Witch Bizella. The Great Witch's fury was unleashed without warning, as the entire town burned. That's terrible. That was the legendary fire. Every person in this town knows about it. The legendary fire. The rebuilding of the town was a long and arduous process. And all the while, Bizella must have been watching and laughing from the shadows. That's awful. Even now, the legend of long ago continues to cause real suffering amongst the town folk. To think that a painting of that fearful witch could be right here in the basement of my beloved library. What is it doing here of all places? There's nothing for it. I'll just have this room sealed shut. Please, let's keep the existence of this room strictly between ourselves, for the good of the people. As for me, I shall do my best to forget all about this hidden room. I'm afraid I'd rather not remain here a minute longer. It's time I started closing up the library for the day. I can't help but feel we've done something wrong. Luke, do you recall the words toward the end of that message? You mean, until then I will wait? That's right. When we opened this door, or rather, when we were guided towards opening this door, I could sense someone else's will at work. It's almost as if our following Carmine and coming to this library had all been planned out in advance. Surely it don't mean that we were beckoned here by the Great Witch Bazilla. Bazilla. Oh, cutscene.
Huh? Is something the matter?
Whoa, what's going on?
Are you feeling all right, Espella?
Yes, I'm fine, really.
She knows something about it.
Espella? Yes? What is it? It's just that, well, you've been so quiet. Oh, it's nothing. It's just that this room...
Yes?
It's a little chilly, don't you think?
Chilly?
The atmosphere is a bit sinister, not to mention that scary picture. Maybe it's about time we made a move from here?
Yes, indeed.
Those words at the end of the message? I will wait. What if we weren't meant to be the ones being called here? Huh. Okay. New and new. Carmine had been visiting the Great Archive to investigate one of Labyrinthia's secrets, that secret being the ancient remains found hidden in the room beneath the library. Who would have thought that the secret Carmine was after was the mural of the Great Witch Bazilla under the library? And then an underground mural, hidden beneath the Great Archive, were the ancient remains in which enshrined an ominous wall painting depicting the town being consumed by fire. When was this painting created and by whom? Was it by chance that we found this wall painting, or whether in fact led to it by someone? Phew, it's much more relaxing here, isn't it? It felt so intense and claustrophobic down there. Yes, it certainly did. Today has been full of surprises. Not only did I meet up with you two again, but we also found that mural in the library. It seems that this town really does hold a mysterious secret, doesn't it? What shall we do now? I'd certainly like to learn more about this magic. We've been in here for quite some time. It must be getting late. It's probably best if we wind up our investigating for today and take a rest. We must both be feeling tired. Yes, I suppose you're right. I'd be happy to do a little more investigating with you two. But I have an errand to run before it gets too late. I'm still up for investigating further. Whatever the puzzle, I'm ready to solve it. Duh! Haha, Luke, I could hear your tummy rumbling from here just now. Well, I can't pretend I'm not a little hungry. If you haven't arranged accommodation yet, why don't you both stay at the bakery? There's a room for free, so I'm sure it'll be alright. And Mrs. Eclair would love to have you. What do you say? Well, if you put it like that, we'd be delighted to stay. Thank you, Espella. And there's all that delicious bread, too. I'll be looking forward to it already. Professor Layton, do you have to be going? Yes, sorry for all the trouble we put you to. Not at all, although I still can't get used to there being a secret room under the library. It's been a while since I last met someone capable of solving my puzzles. And as I promised, you have my permission to borrow the Grand Grimoire. If you have any need for it in the future, please do drop by and let me know. Thank you very much, Miss Mystere. It's been a pleasure. Oh, there's just one more thing. I have all of Labyrinthia's puzzles stored here in this library. As you continue with your investigations here in Labyrinthia, there will be likely be puzzles that you cannot solve or which you cannot find. Such puzzles will come to me. Anytime you wish to solve such puzzles, just visit me and I will show them to you. Puzzles that we cannot solve or do not find, you say? Very well. I look forward to seeing you again. I'll be waiting. Please take care on your way home. It's already become dark out there. And if I remember rightly, the storyteller's last story did mention this evening. Or the evening. You take care too. Until we meet again, Miss Mystere. Added the grimoire to items.